Hello, this is Matthew Miller from the ZDNet Smartphones and Cell Phones blog. Just returning from the Microsoft Mobius event here in Seattle, which is a Microsoft-sponsored event that's held usually once a year. A bunch of enthusiasts, 25 enthusiasts from around the world, come and meet together and chat with Mobius or with Microsoft about the Windows Mobile and the Windows space. Now this in my hand is the HTC Hd2 that HTC actually gave each of the attendees to evaluate and check out. Now as you can see, it is quite a wide device with a large display. It's actually a 4.3 inch 800 by 480 WVGA display. And before I dive into a first look, I'll just kind of show you some size comparisons. This is the Hd2 next to the iPhone. As you can see, the Hd2 is wider and taller. As I put it on top, it is also wider than the iPhone 3GS. Thickness is about the same roughly. Another HTC device, that is the Touch Pro 2. As you can see, their display resolutions are the same, but again, quite a size difference there. This does have the oleophobic display on there, and as you can see, I got some fingerprints on there. They wipe off fairly easy with just a finger. So let's take a look around the device before I turn on the display. So at the bottom of it, we've got a couple of buttons. We've got the send and end keys there. We've got a home button, a start, and then a back button. And as you'll see, this runs Windows Mobile 6.5 Professional, so it has some needs for those buttons. On the left side, we have the volume toggle up and down right there, and that part of the volume button. On the bottom, it's nice to see, that's a 3.5mm headset jack and micro USB port for charging and syncing. Micro USB is going to be the new standard on HTC devices, hopefully the 3.5mm as well. Nothing's over here on the right side except for the little notch to remove the back cover. And the back cover, this is all metal here. This pops out and reveals the battery. And then over on the end here we have a 5-megapixel camera and a flashlight, which is actually extremely bright. Almost overexposes the pictures, so I'll have to play around with that a little bit. And there's one speaker there. It's just a mono speaker, but boy, it's really loud when you start playing music, and maybe I'll walk through that. So if you look at the back, the camera, I'll try to show it here. It actually protrudes out quite a bit, and it actually has some fairly sharp edges around the camera. It'll be interesting to see how that does down the line, being in an unprotected area like that. But as you can see, it's quite sleek. There's nothing up on the top of it either. Now, to turn it on, you press the end key, I guess it is. And then as you can see here, there's the Windows Mobile 6.5 lock screen. So we need to slide to unlock it. And what you also see up in the corner there, this is the Edge version, which means this is the European version. It doesn't have support for 3G in the United States. HTC just recently made an announcement for this device, making it official in Singapore, and announced that it would be coming to some major US carrier. We have no idea yet whether that'll be a GSM carrier like AT&T or T-Mobile, or whether it'll be a CDMA carrier like Sprint or Verizon. But that'll happen, supposed to happen early 2010, so stay tuned for that. Excuse me. So as you can see here, this is another iteration of TouchFlow. It is kind of the Sense UI that we've seen on Android devices. And one of the biggest things, I suppose, is that you'll see is the color icons down at the bottom here. And then just kind of the information that's available on the device. If I slide up, there's some areas for more favorites as well. And then, of course, dropping the clock. They have a Twitter client, which is the same Twitter client on Android, Peep. It's now on Windows Mobile. They've got email, the weather, as we can see here, and of course it has the incredible animations. And the weather will flow through the whole device from time to time. There's text messaging, contacts, internet, which they have Opera Mobile as the browser. Actually, I'll go ahead and show that, and I'll actually show it on an Edge connection. So let's go to the Smartphones and Cell Phones blog here. You can just as easily connect to Wi-Fi I'm not going to right this time. I just wanted to kind of show you the responsiveness and the performance over edge connection. So it's loading up my page there. Now, if you do happen to get this one in Europe, or when the US one comes in from a carrier, what you'll find is HTC actually included the ability to make this a Wi-Fi router right in the communication software. So as you can see, this default browser is Opera Mobile 9.7. It does have support for the full internet. And via Edge, there you see, my blog is mostly loaded up. Just not bad timing for the blog. As we turn it, auto rotates into landscape mode as well. Pretty responsive though for an edge connection. Now if I double tap and get zoomed in on that, another thing you'll find is it does support pinch and zoom, multi-touch. Okay, much like the iPhone on a bigger display actually. There is no integrated memory in this as far as large storage. There's 512 ROM for storage and 448 RAM. This does have the 1 GHz Snapdragon processor, so it is very responsive. As I said, the 5 megapixel camera, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and the 3.5mm headset jack. So let's go back home again, and we'll jump through. There's calendar, settings, photos and videos, music. Actually, let me just bump into music here. I'll just play this for a second so you can hear the volume on this thing. As you can see, it has the HTC media player on here. Kind of reminds you of the cover flow stuff you've seen on the iPhone. Quite responsive, kind of enjoyable. And then they also have the Photos app. This looks brilliant on this display. It's probably hard to capture on the video, but it's just a brilliant picture, and we can actually pinch and zoom into it. Kind of look at the mountains a little bit closer. Double tap to zoom back out. Now if I press the other button, the start button, this takes us to the Windows Mobile 6.5 home screen. And as you can see, we can scroll up and down through our apps. If you touch and hold on it, you can slide it to the top as well. And there are some organizations, you know, like in Outlook is actually a folder with some more parts of the system. Settings is quite a bit different. If we tap into settings, that was all settings, that is, we can see that much easier and more user-friendly for sure. So that's just a quick look at the Hd2. I plan to spend much more time with it. Even on an edge connection, I think this is going to turn into my primary device. It's just absolutely beautiful, you know, rock solid feel in your hand. It is wide, it is tall, but it's quite thin, and just looking forward to spending some time with it.